Hi, welcome back, and I'm Audrey.
And I'm Bob.
And today's burning question is what traits do you want in a digital marketer? Very good question. So maybe you could start off first.
So at Next Academy, we have a digital marketing product launch bootcamp,
Yeah.
where in 5 weeks, ideally you learn how to be a digital marketer. When throughout this bootcamp, we actually identify, the traits that makes a very good digital marketer because there are students that really perform very well in the bootcamp.
Yes.
So one of the things that I realized that students who really, make an impact in their work after they leave the bootcamp is, the level of inquisitiveness.
Yes.
So as a marketer, trends always change, platforms change, the software changes. So as a marketer, you always have to, have the inquisitive nature, to ask questions, to try out new things, to test out new things. So one of the things I really see, to be a good digital marketer is, to be very curious and to try new things. What else?
For me, is someone who is able to, to look from the eyes of a customer or a user. I think that is very important for me because by the end of the day, digital marketing is about communicating to another person, right? And I think one of the biggest thing that I see is that when people, think about digital marketing, they always want to tell you, how good they are. Like, oh, I'm great. That's why you should choose me. But, to the customer or to the person who potentially is buying it, sometimes they don't really care about that. What they care about is, are you going to be solving my pain? Do you understand, what I'm facing right now? So one key thing I tend to look at is the ability of the digital marketer in empathizing with a customer. And these people would usually be able to come up with a range of customer avatar with very, strong, specific and emotional messages that can reach out to the customer avatars. And I really, really, I really love it when I see someone being able to, put on multiple caps, put on different customer avatars or personas, right? When they're looking at a product and when they are thinking about marketing it.
Great, that's great. So understanding the customer,
Yes.
having that empathy to, understand whoever it is, going to potentially buy your product is very key. One more thing I would like to add is more like you need to be sort of like a goal-driven person. So when we were running the bootcamp, we will often, give let you market your own products.
Yeah.
So as a marketer as well, you need to know what are your objectives. Whether it's to get leads or to get increased sales. So as an effective marketer, you need to know the performance of your advertising or the performance or the conversions of your website.
Yes.
So as a marketer as well, I call it always on, but you need to be always aware, of your results or the performance of your ads. So that goal-driven person, he needs to know, hey, I want to get more sales. There is not one way to get sales. There is so many channels. So he needs to know, or he or she needs to know, what is the most efficient way, to get that objective. So, understanding your customer and, knowing your objective and always be testing different things is very key when it comes to being a marketer.
Yeah. I love what you're saying, like always be testing. Always remember that marketing, there is no silver bullets, right? There is really, really no silver bullets. You always need to test your market. Something might work in this industry, in this business, it might not work for you. And that is the fact of life. What I really like it is when people are not afraid of failure. People are not afraid of testing and experimenting new growth hack ideas. But one key thing is definitely know what is the risk and reward, right? If you know that this is something that is unproven yet, you don't know if it's going to work out, you're not going to put tens of thousands in this, let's just say in this, advertising campaign. You will need to find ways, to think about what is a way to validate if whatever my hypothesis about, this demographic, if it works or not, if this message works or not. And I think one more thing that I really like looking at is when it comes to hiring, is when the person is proactive enough to come up to me and tell me straight, like, I see that there is this customer avatar, this is how I'm going to target them, this is what I think they will need, this is how I am going to reach out to them, what are the messages, what are the ways, where would they be, what are the ways for me to target them, distribute to them. And I think for someone who is willing to put in that sort of effort, right, it really tells a lot about that person. Not just in terms of obviously commitment, but in terms of this person is willing to sit down and think through a holistic funnel, a holistic digital marketing campaign for my company, as opposed to just, oh yeah, you should just run Facebook ads lah, right? I mean, I don't really need that anymore. I need someone who is willing to look at the whole picture. And that's what I'm looking for in a digital marketer.
Great stuff. The last thing that I want to add is, I think this is sort of like the first point that I made, but it's more than that. So one of the things I always say is always be learning.
Yes.
That's why you are in this group. That's why you're asking questions. So digital marketing is always changing. So and even as a marketer myself, I am always learning new places to run ads. I'm looking at Quora, I'm looking at LinkedIn ads. There's always new avenues to learn. And for me as well, I always look up to different marketers in different fields. So somebody might be doing marketing for products, then there's something to learn as well. Somebody might be doing a lot of marketing in hotels or tourism, then they have a different skill set. So somebody might be a B2B marketer. So as a marketer, that's why you're in this group. Always be learning. There's always something new to learn, and there's always a better way to do marketing. So that's always be learning.
Yeah. Well, guys, continue to learn and continue to be curious, and don't be afraid of failure. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask us at the next Digital Marketing Lab.